live to be here with our friends on Discord and YouTube.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Shalom, shalom.
Thank you. Shalom, shalom. Would you like to ask any question before we start? Do you have something on your mind that you would like to share? You were reading, discussing things. Is there anything that you'd like to start with before we start reading the verses in the book of Zohar? Is there something on your mind? Hello, can you hear?
No, Eti.
Etsy, at the moment, no, Etsy.
I'm
Just ready to follow you.
So let's look into the whiteboard and see what is happening. I have a reverb. Do you have headset, everyone?
Yes,
You
yes.
have headset? Good,
yes,
good.
yes, Eti. I
Yes.
don't know if it is good. If it you I was listening some echo before, but now I
Now it's
understand
okay?
fine.
Yes, good. I
Yes.
hear echo again. So we have two verses from Songs of Songs. I mean, two, three, and then there's a Zohar article about them. Would you like to read them first?
I can read them if you like
Thank you.
in English. Okay, Song of Songs, chapter 6, verse 1 and 2. Whither is thy beloved gone, O thou fairest among women? Whither hath thy beloved turned him, that we may seek him with thee? My beloved is gone down into his garden, to the beds of spices, to feed in the gardens, and to gather lilies. And then Songs chapter 8, verse 13 reads, Thou that dwellest in the gardens, the companions hearken for thy voice. Cause me to hear it.
Thank you. Thank you. Fernando, can you please read verses Bet, פסוק ב', שיר השירים ו', פסוק ב', דודי ירד לגנו, and then שיר השירים, Song of Songs 8:13. Can you read those two together in Hebrew?
Yes, I can try it. So, שיר השירים, פסוק ב', דודי יחד לגנו, לאחקות חבושם לחיות, לחיות, sorry, בגנים וללקוט שושנים. And שיר השירים ב', פסוק י"ג, חיושבת בגנים, חברים מקשיבים לקולך חשמני.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you so much. Thank you, Fernando, and thank you, Justin. Now we shall read an article about those verses. Sefer Zohar. Good morning, Daniel. Hello, hello. Sefer Zohar. Zohar with explanation of the letter Sulam. Zohar Chadash. New Zohar. Parashat Achrei Mot Kedoshim. Ma'amar Chatzot Laila. The name of the article is Midnight. I will read first the Aramaic here and then the Hebrew. They are very, very similar. Letter Nun Aleph, Mark 51. דודי ירד לגנו, לערוגות הבושם. My uncle, my beloved one, descend into his garden. To, how do they translate here, ערוגות הבושם? ערוגות הבושם, to the beds of spices. לראות בגנים, to shepherds in the garden and to pick up lilies. This is the verse. Tachazi, Taf and Chet. This is abbreviation of Tachazi, Bo Ure'e. Come and see. Come and see. Tachazi, I will write it. I'm sorry, there's a loading of the whiteboard. It disappears, but it will return. Good morning, Venus. Hello, Danny. Hello, hello. Shalom, shalom. The whiteboard is charging at the moment. I'm waiting for it to return to write. Yes. Yeah. Tafret. Tafret. This is abbreviation. Abbreviation of, make it thinner. Yes. Tachazi. Bo וראה. תא, תא זה כמו בו. חזי, ראה. Because also חזות is appearance, בו וראה, come and see. Whenever we find this, come and see, this perspective, Tachazi comes, come and see. The speaker wants us to have a different perspective. So come and see, come, meaning move from your current space or state in mind and see a different angle and a different perspective. Come and see. Hello, Anthony. Hello, hello. Tachazi, come and see. Kol hashirim kodesh. All of songs are holy, kodesh. Veshir hashirim. This is abbreviation of shir hashirim. Shin, hey. Shin, hey, shin, shahash, shir hashirim. Song of songs. Shir hashirim. This is the abbreviation of songs or songs of Solomon. Please see. Shin, hey, shin, shahash, shir hashirim. So, kol hashirim kodesh, all songs are holy, comma, veshir hashirim, and song of songs or songs of Solomon, kodesh, kodashim, holy of holies. Knesset Israel, the assembly of Israel, meshabachat lei, praise him, lakadosh baruch hu, to the holy blessed he, ve'omeret dodi, and says, my uncle, my beloved one. Hey, hey, Dalet, this is abbreviation of Aramית, Hada, I will write it in blue, I'd rather write blue at the moment. This is abbreviation in Aramית, Hada, hu, de'amar. And in Hebrew, Hada, hu, ze, hu, de'amar, hu, ze, she'amar. Hu, ze, she'amar. Meaning, that's what he says, and then he brings a quote, Dodi, tzach, ve'adom. My uncle is pure, tzach. Tzach is pure, can refer also to white in this case, pure, meaning my uncle, my beloved one, is pure, tzach, ve'adom. When tzach, pure, refers to white, ve'adom, and red. This is another verse from Songs of Songs that at the moment I don't have here or him on the whiteboard. Let's see. Now we shall read the Hebrew to return, to recite. Mark, or letter Nun Aleph, Mark 51. Dodi yarad leganu. My uncle, my beloved one, descend to his garden. Dodi yarad leganu. My uncle, my beloved one, descend to his garden. La'arugot הבושם, to the beds of spices, לראות בגנים, to see in the gardens, וללקוט שושנים, and to pick up lilies. בוא וראה, come and see. כל השירים קודש. All songs are holy. ושיר השירים, and song of songs, קודש הקודשים, holy of holies. כנסת ישראל, the assembly of Israel, שהיא המלכות, which is the kingdom, משבחת, praise, להקדוש ברוך הוא, to the holy blessed he, ואומרת, and says, ואומרת לו, and tell him, דודי, my uncle, my beloved one. וזה שכתוב, and this is what it is written, because here I said this is what he says, and here he takes this is what it's written, because the Torah is written. וזה שכתוב, דודי צח ואדום. Meaning the assembly of Israel praise the holy blessed he, and the assembly of Israel called to the holy blessed he, my uncle. But what is my uncle? And there's a quote, my uncle is pure, meaning white, and red. צח ואדום. צח ואדום, pure or white and red. So far, so good?
Yes.
Yes.
Questions or thoughts?
I was just thinking that white stands for Chesed usually,
Mm-hmm.
and red for Geburah.
Mm-hmm. True.
So I was just wondering if they are pointing to this idea that the Dodi is Tiferet because it's like a mix from
True.
Chesed and Geburah.
True. We should see that. True. True. Also, it resonates with the rose, with the lily, the article. Yes, Justin?
Yeah, this reminds me of what we spoke of weeks ago about that holiday where you drink white wine
Yes.
and you drink the red wine on certain days.
Yes.
And it's interesting how the English has translated this into my beloved, and it has the word Dodi in there again, as we spoke of and when we looked at Esther
True.
and the uncle.
True. True. This is it. From this conversation, this conversation about Esther that you mentioned, Dodi and Yedod and Havaya and being, all of those writings that Fernando and you and Rodrigo and Felipe were discussing inspired me to bring this verse, to continue the same theme. Yes,
That's beautiful. Thank you.
most welcome. Rodrigo, Felipe, would you like to say something?
No, thank you, Etty. At the moment, no, thank you.
Thank you, Etty.
Welcome. Let's read the next letter, the next mark. Would you like me to read the Aramaic or just the Hebrew? What is better? It is better to have another layer, another perspective, or just to start with the Hebrew directly to English? This is the question. What do you rather?
I like to hear the Aramaic, Etty. I like to hear the Aramaic.
Okay. Letter Nunbet, mark 52. Again, Tavchet. What is Tavchet? Stand for what? The abbreviation of the Zohar. Tavchet is the abbreviation of what? Do you remember? In English? Tavchet.
See, come and see.
Come and see. Very good. Come and see. Come and see. תחזי, come and see. בשעתה דהה פלגות לילה. Again, Aramaic. בשעתה. Sounds like בשעה. בשעה is an hour. בשעה, in the hour. שעה is the hour. When hour means time. At the time. בשעתה. בשעתה, בשעה. In the time, in the hour. דהה פלגות לילה. In the time in which the night is being cut, or I would say not cut, but being split. Palgut is to split, like Peleg. Peleg is to split. Dora Palaga, I move according to the letters. Palgut. Palgut is from Peleg. Do you remember in the generations of Noah, we have Peleg, and from Peleg there is a distribution of families, and from there starts the, let's call it the generation of Babylon. Palgut, Peleg, distribution, division. So in the time, בשעתה דהה פלגות ליליה, Lelia sounds like Laila in Hebrew. Laila. Laila is the night. Laila is night. So, at the time when the night splits or divided, what is when the night is split or divided in English, poetic English? Midnight. Midnight. It'ar shalhuva chada. One flame, shalhuva, shalhuva, in Aramaic is like in Hebrew shalhevet. Shalhevet is a flame. Shalhevet. Please pay attention. The middle letters of Shalhevet flame is Lahav, Lahav, like the letters of Hevel. Please pay attention. Shalhevet, Lahav, Lahav. So, come and see. In the time or in the hours, they are building outside, so you might hear the sound of the truck loading sand. B'sha'ata, in the time, in the hour, that the night is being divided, being split, meaning midnight. It'ar shalhuva chada. One flame is being awake. Ve'yeol tchot gadfei de tarnegola, and comes under the wings of the rooster. Vekari, and calls, make a sound. Uvehahu she'ata, and in this hour or that time. Kadosh Baruch Hu, the Holy Blessed He, Yarad el Ganu, descend to his garden. The Ihu, that it is, Ga Gimel Ain, Gan Eden. Gimel Ain is the abbreviation of Gan Eden, the Garden of Eden. So let's make it together. Uvehahu she'ata, in the time of the midnight, yes, at the midnight time, awakes, or one flame awakes and comes under the wings of the rooster and calls, meaning make a sound. Uvehahu she'ata, and in this time, this hour, Kadosh Baruch Hu, the Holy Blessed He, descend to his garden, which is Gan Eden, the Garden of Eden. But which garden? Ihu Gan Eden, Ila'a, the upper Garden of Eden. The it lekadosh baruch hu, which is his, the holy, blessed he. Uvehahi she'ata, and in this time and in this hour, it'ar tarnegola dil'ela, the rooster from above awakes, ve'amar, the rooster from above awakes and said, Kumu kol inon deshinta bechorehon. Wake up, or rise up, all those who have the sleep in their holes, meaning the holes of their eyes. Ha she'ata, this time, this hour, ihi leitcha bra, this time it is the time to connect. Leitcha bra, from chaver, chevron, to connect. This time it is the time to connect. Ayalata, ayalata is the doe. Doe, the feminine deer. Ayalata in Hebrew, ayelet. Ayelet in Hebrew, ayalata, this is the doe, the feminine deer. So this is the time to connect the doe with, let's see, with her husband, beva'ala. Zaka'a ihu kol bnei nasha, it is the righteous of every man that wakes up, the yakum, wakes, to come, bepalgut lelia, it is the righteous of every person that wakes up in the middle of the night, leit aska beoraita, la'asok batorah, to deal, to speak, to learn the Torah. Oraita in Aramaic, oraita, Torah. Oraita in Aramaic, Torah in Hebrew. Dekadosh baruch hu, because the holy blessed he, v'chol tzadikaya, v'chol hatzadikim, and all the righteous one, atzitu lekalia. Atzitu meaning they listen to his voice. Kalia, call. Atzitu, atzitu. Atzitu in Hebrew sounds like aceton, but atzit is to make a fire. When you take a match and you shape it on the matchbox, this is to start up the fire. Atzitu lekalia, listening to his voice. Hada hu dekatuv, this is what it is written. Hayoshevet baganim, the one who sits in the garden, feminine. Hayoshevet, feminine sitting. The one who sits in the gardens, feminine, comma. Chaverim, friends. Let's make a comma here, that we shall see the difference. It's a second. Baganim, comma. Chaverim, friends. Makshivim, are listening to your voice. Lekolech, feminine. Comma. Hashmi'ini, please let me hear you. The word here, Hashmi'ini, this is one word in Hebrew. This is in a Semitic languages. You can say one sentence in one word. Hashmi'ini, let me hear your voice. One word. Hashmi'ini, the root, the stem letters are Shma. Hashmi'ini, let me hear your voice. So far, so good?
Yes, it's amazing. It's beautiful. This this paragraph of the Zohar. It's amazing and very beautiful. Thank you very much for sharing with us.
Thank you. Questions about Aramaic, English, Hebrew concepts, words, music, ideas, rooster, the wing of the rooster. Please let it fly in your head. All of those things are not mentioning here just for nothing. They have a meaning, but let them be in your mind and heart. Now we shall read the Hebrew. It is more fluid now because it is all already constructed. Letter Nun Bet, Mark 52, Tachazi, come and see, בשעתה דייהה. בוא וראה, come and see, בשעה שיהיה חצות הלילה, in the time or in the hour that it will be midnight. One flame שלהבת אחת מתעוררת. One flame is waking up. ובאה and comes תחת כנפי התרנגול and comes under the wings of the rooster and calls. ובאותה שעה and in the same hour, the same time, I move the text, הקדוש ברוך הוא, the holy blessed he, יורד אל גנו, descends to his garden, שהוא גן העדן העליון, which is the upper garden of Eden, שיש לו להקדוש ברוך הוא, that a holy blessed he has. ובאותה שעה, and in the same time, the same hour, מתעורר התרנגול של מעלה. Wakes up the upper rooster, ואומר, and says, קומו כל אלו, wake up all of those, שהשינה בחורי עיניהם, that the sleep is in the holes or in the spaces of their eyes. הנה השעה היא, here it is the time, שתתחבר האיילה, that the door will connect, that the door, which is the kingdom, will connect with her husband. That is Ze'er Anpin. The Vav Ze'er Anpin or Tiferet. And there's here the explanation, there's another reference to another Zohar. Ashrehu, happy is everyone. Ashrehu kol adam, happy is every man or every human that will wake up, שיקום בחצות הלילה, that will wake up in the middle of the night, לעסוק בתורה, to read, to learn, to sing, to contemplate in the Torah. שהקדוש ברוך הוא, because the holy blessed he, here the shin means because. שהקדוש ברוך הוא, because the holy blessed he, וכל הצדיקים, and all the righteous one, מקשיבים לקולו, are listening to his voice, to his sound. זה שכתוב, this is what it is written, היושבת בגנים, the one who sits in the garden, חברים מקשיבים לקולך. Friends are listening to your voice. Hashmi'ini, let me hear your voice. Questions so far?
So far, so good.
Good. Perspective?
Eti,
Yes, yes.
well, the Zohar use a very metaphoric language, and there is a lot of expressions, as you mentioned, that is, how can I say, is not a literal meaning, but when the Zohar talk about the split of the night, and you say this is the midnight, um, if you could clarify this concept of the midnight for the Zohar, because I believe that not is the, how can I say, an hour in a clock, not how can I say, an hour, the midnight as an hour of the day, the hour of the day, but how can I say, is I don't know if a state of mind or something like that. If you could remind us or clarify to me this concept of the split of the night, the midnight, I appreciate. Thank you very much.
There is when we look, thank you for the question. When we look at the cycle of the days, let's start from the sunset. The sun is setting, slowly the color changes, and slowly the night is coming, and the night is dark. But the night is divided, everything is divided to two because God is in the middle. So the night is divided into two. It's good that the Zohar makes those distinctions, because we have Erev, evening, we have Lel, and we have Laila. In Hebrew we have those distinctions. So midnight is when the darkness is split into two. Again, this is not a chronicle time. Midnight, like let's say when usually people celebrate, let's say the new year, there's a midnight kiss or so. Just this is not about so much on the chronicles of the time on the clock, but it's the middle of the darkness. Do we understand that?
Yes.
It is inside of us. This is not external. When you look at the clock, like in the airports, you have many clocks. If you look at the airports, they say Beijing, New York, London, Tokyo, and you see different Moscow. So you see different cities and you see their time. This is not about it. It is the night within. So Chatzot Laila, midnight inside of ourselves, is when we experience darkness, but in the middle of the darkness there's a split. So like a person descends to the bottom of heaviness and darkness, he reached the bottom. This is midnight. And from the midnight comes, in a way, change. A change appears. Do we understand this concept?
Yes, thank you, Eti.
Thank you. Can I ask you a question?
Yes, please.
But before I bring also other ideas, once, in nature, the rooster, they always make a sound before dawn. Did you notice this? Have you read this in literature, that the rooster...
Yes.
Yes?
No.
I read that people, I don't know, in China or somewhere, scientists, they wanted to research what makes the rooster. So they really put a rooster, isolate him, and still he could say whenever the dawn is coming. But here the rooster is calling when, according to the Zohar.
The midnight.
Midnight. Let's look into the word rooster in Hebrew and try to rescue what is happening there. Where is my pen? And why is the rooster and his sound in a way split the night into two parts? Tarnegol. With Vav or without Vav? How do they write it? With Vav or without? Let's see. With Vav.
And there is an aleph at the end also.
This is in Aramaic, yes, in Aramaic. But in Hebrew, Tarnegol. Please try to find a word, even with 3 letters. I give you a direction that has a meaning.
Regel,
Very good. Regel. What is regel?
the leg or the foot.
Regel is leg. Yes. Value of regel is 233, like the tree of life.
Yes.
How do we say man in Arabic? This is just to give you another dimension of regel. How do we say man in Arabic?
I don't know.
אני אגיד את זה, רג'ל, 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 leg. גבר is basically a leg, רג'ל, meaning tree of life. So, please pay attention. Leave now the vav. The vav, we shall look at it later. We see regel. Regel. This is tree of life. And we have tav and resh. Tav and resh, this is together 600. This is also vav. Tar means to look for. Look for. Look for the tree of life. This is the meaning of rooster. This is why he calls at the middle of the night.
It is beautiful, and it works like a bell. Let's say, you know that something is important, something that is important is happening. Right?
Yes, yes, yes,
If you have the vessel for this.
yes,
So
yes.
it is a sacred time, let's say.
Yes, 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 yes. Also, sometimes when we shall, I hope we shall arrive to read Zohar Lech Lecha, when Abraham participates in the war to rescue his nephew Lot. The Bible says, "Vayechlak alehem laila." There's something happens in the battle in the middle of the night. Vayechlak is to split, lechalek, to split the night. Something happened in the battle. There's a change. So don't be, I tell all of us, don't be afraid from the darkness, because in the middle of darkness, the rooster, yes, the rooster calls. First, a new flame is waking up. Shalhova, Shalhevet, The letters are la. Please look at the word shalhevet, flame. Here, shalhevet is both divided into both names that we are familiar with. It is flame, but we can see in it both hevel and shet.
Shet.
Shet. Very good. Yes.
It makes me. I was thinking about this sacredness of time,
Mm-hmm.
and it makes me remember even the Eastern culture of Buddhism and mindfulness that is coming to the West now. Because I think that time to time they ring a bell or something to remember, like to be aware of what is happening now, because our mind usually is going for everything that is happening in the future or in the past, or
Mm-hmm.
and in the mindfulness they have the bell to make us anchor in the present moment,
Yes.
like time to time they have this little bell.
True.
And I think that is the same idea of the rooster. Like
Yes.
we are, the night it can happen in the mid of the day because
Yes.
with a lot of problems and trying to solve the world's problem, but comes a bell and make us remember that nothing is real. The real is the now and the sacredness and the Torah.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. This is also why Kohen Gadol used to wear a dressing with a bell. That when he used to move to Holy of Holies, everybody could hear that he moves. To remember. Can I ask you a question?
Yes, please.
What is the meaning of this poetic phrase? Wake up all of those who have the sleep in their hollows of their eyes. What is the sleep in the hollow of the eyes? Because it's not a physical sleeping, like people go to sleep in bed. This is okay, this is simple, pshat. Person goes to sleep and then he sleeps in his bed, his eyes are closed. But what is the inner meaning of this phrase?
To not be aware of the tree of life.
Yes, yes. Yes, Venus. Black fire on white space. Yes. Can we continue?
Eti,
Yes.
there is a word that you mentioned, the female of the deer, Ailat, and
Yes.
and it's interesting because I never heard this. How can I say this association? I don't know exactly the meaning of this. I just looked the word in Hebrew that you wrote here, Ailat, and the value of this word is 441. But I don't know why Zohar used this figure, this make this mention,
Mm-hmm.
because in this case the female will, how can I say, engage with the male, if I understood well. But I don't know exactly um, what is the meaning of the word ilat, this symbolical meaning. if
Mm-hmm.
it's a reference of the spirit, the ruach. I really can get it, the meaning of the
It's
female of
good.
the deer.
It's good. It's good as you. I'm just wearing a jacket, so I'm just standing. 1 second, I'll get a jacket, and I because this is not a how do you say zoologia? It's not
Yeah,
about yes. It's not a
not
botan.
an animal question.
Yes, it's not.
Yeah.
Yes, it's not a open a zoologia book and see what is the definition of this and so. What do you recognize? If you take the tav, because tav is sometimes a feminine like hey, what word do you find in ayelet? Ayelet. If you take the tav, because it's like hey in a way, it's a feminine. Which word do we have here? This, yes, yes,
It's a ram.
yes. It's a ram. It's ayil. Now, now we don't speak how do you say zoologia? Yes, it's not a zodiac. We don't speak now about zodiac and animals. We speak about the letters as image. So if we isolate at the moment, put a tav outside, it's basically the root is the ram. Ayil, the one that Abraham sacrificed instead of his son. And we have 41. Yes? If we
Yes.
add the tav, this is 4 for 1, emet or adam from left to right. Ayelet is the Ayelet in English it means literally a feminine doll, but behind the feminine doll, through the Hebrew, this is 4 for 1, is an image for Adam, humanity, and Emet. So let's combine this perspective with the verse. Let's return to the Ayelet, to the feminine deer, and see what is happening. Ayalata, and let's see the Hebrew. Okay. And at the same time, the same hour, the upper rooster is waking up and says, Kumu, wake up, all of those who have the sleep in the hollow of the eyes. Hine hasha'ahi, here it is the time that ha'ayala, the feminine deer or the doe, which is the kingdom, will unite or connect to her husband, who is Zer Anpin.
Oh, great. It's the Malchut, the Nukva.
Yes,
Right.
yes, yes.
It is interesting because it seems like a way to refer to Adam, to the structure of Adam
Yes,
and
yes,
Emet,
yes.
but it is hidden in a female aspect of the manifestation.
Yes, and if we look, very good, very good.
Hello,
Yes, I was
can you hear it?
thinking that
Ye-
was from.
Yeah, we cannot hear you.
Hello, can you hear?
Now
Yes.
Yes. Oh,
Yes?
yes.
Yes.
Yes. Did you hear me? Is the deer is a prepos? How do you say? Animal that.
We lost you just after Felipe spoke.
Okay. I said that the deer. Now you can hear Fernando.
Yes, now
Yes.
now we can hear.
The deer is crepuscular animal. They active at dawn. Yes. Before the morning is coming. And like Felipe says in the Ayala or Ayelet, the image of man is coming. Yes.
And we can see now the whole picture, like the beginning was saying that the Dodi is white, pure,
Yes.
and red, right?
Yeah.
And we related it with Tiferet,
Yes.
Sefirat Tiferet. And the sleeping is Malchut. Who is the sleeping is in Malchut.
Yes. Yes.
So the sages are speaking about this marriage between this Malchut and Tiferet. And in the last session, we were talking about Esther, and also I think that Joanne or Sunshine said about the Cinderella.
Yes.
It is quite symbolic, the idea that someone is sleeping in Malchut, the female part,
Yes.
like the creation is sleeping, waiting to be awake.
Yes. Yes. Yes, like the Sleeping Beauty. There's Cinderella, because Cinderella, the magic happens at midnight. Also, in the Sleeping Beauty, she is waiting for the one that will wake her from 100 years of sleep. In the Malchut. Yeah? Excellent. Questions or thoughts?
And Neti, what do you think about to be awake? Like you have a method to awake to the moment, or it becomes already natural, or how can someone awake? Because sometimes we need an event to awake.
Like yes.
Something happened to us, and well, now I am awake. I am aware of everything. Sometimes through pain, usually to something that happens that you didn't want that happened, or something like this. But in fact, we could be awake without the need of an external event. So if you could, I don't know if you wish, but if you wish, you could share what do you think about this.
About to be awake. To be awake is to pay attention where we are. And to be awake, yesterday there was a conversation on the way, because people were asking about dementia and all of those diseases. So the Holy Blessed He wants our heart. Rahmana, the Zohar says, Rahmana libe ba'e. I will write the Aramaic here, one sentence, and I will explain. It's a very good question, Fernando. Yeah. Rahmana, meaning the merciful one. Rahmana in Aramaic, it means the merciful one. Liba, heart. Ba'e. Ba'e in Aramaic, or in Arabic, it is to ask. The holy or the merciful one the I don't want to write it now, just I would like to keep the Aramaic as it is. Rahmana Libei Ba'i, the Holy or the Merciful One asks the heart. Ask just one thing, our heart, to be engaged. So the human heart is capable of feeling many range or a gallery of feeling or many notes of feeling. I don't know how to describe it. The human heart has a capability to feel a lot and different things. And the intention of the creation that we shall go through those moments, through those feelings. Sometimes they are pleasant, sometimes they are not. Whether if they are pleasant or not, this is not it. We just have, or we are asked to be present and feel them. Meaning, we call it in English to be engaged. I don't think that the word engage is very correct or accurate, but to feel the difference, even if it's not pleasant, even if it's hard moment of pain, of sorrow, and people next to us being broken. Not to turn the back, not to others, and first of all, not to ourselves. If we need, or it comes to us as it comes, be with it. It will move, but don't reject it. And move to the automat, to the mechanical. Because when people ignore, and the word in English is ignore, those moments, moment after moment, drop after drop, because every moment is a drop. Ignore first time, second, third, and so all of those drops are coming together into one lake. And when there's too much ignorance, I don't know, ignorance is something else, but when we turn, when the turning, when we turn our back for so many moments and we are not present in them and just living or surfing on the mechanical, eventually diseases are coming and dementia is ahead of them. Dementia is a consequence of a person not being present, not being relating to another person, to another animal, to a pain of himself, of his other, and just working external.
Thank you.
So, thank you. Not to be afraid to feel those unpleasant things, not to ignore them, admitting sometimes we don't find the words to describe to ourselves or to others what we feel. This is understandable. But still, we sometimes express it in the way the shoulders are being held, or the hands, the arms, and so the fingers. But to be aware of this is how I feel, and if I want to say a sentence which is not acceptable, to say it first to ourselves, and if we have a friend to share, but to say it, because from the external surrounding there is no encouragement of so much of speaking the truth. admitting the truth. So first to admit the truth inside. If it's painful, if it's harder, if I want to move from certain behavior to another, if I want to be somewhere else inside of me to move on, please say it. Also, Carl Jung says in his book, God wants all of you. All is the heart, with all our might, being there, not to run away. Even if sometimes in life there are periods, I would say even periods, that things are not going as we believe they should, or they're going, so to speak, seemingly on the dark side, and we don't understand why, but we feel this is what there is at the moment. Even if we don't like it, we would like to be different, act different, be other, better, but we are dealing with it. There are sometimes moments in life that things are not in our hands, and we feel lost. We would like to be more connected and to have more connection, but sometimes comes an opening from a third point, and there's a great joy. So not everything is dependent on us, but what we can do is just admit that this is what there is. Once we admit, peace comes with it.
Thank you.
Most
It's
welcome.
quite beautiful.
There is one verse from the book of Job, I think it's from the book of Job, calls Ta'alumot Chokhmah, the mystery of wisdom, because the name is taken from one verse from the book of Job. It's a mystery. Ta'alumot Chokhmah. It's a mystery. We don't know why things are happening. Ta'alumot Chokhmah. We don't know why things are happening. Sometimes it's not in our hands. Only when people sometimes move to the next life, things are coming more clear part. Maybe new ways are opening. Not everything is in our hands. A lot of our life is a great mystery. I can testify.
Once again makes me think about the hearing aspect, because the rooster is heard wherever we are. We are not in the same place. The rooster may be far from us, but if we are hearing presently, if we are in the state of awakening or wishing, yearning to be awakened, sorry,
Yes.
so we will hear this rooster.
Usually when we think of rooster, we think about what? Felipe, Fernando, friends, what do we think when we see the word rooster?
Our
It is a bird,
It is a
I
bird.
guess.
And and usually we see this in the countryside when people grow chickens and rooster. But what if the rooster is inside of us? We can look. There's a school here and they grow roosters and chicken, but it's not about the external rooster.
But the rooster is a symbol of surveillance. Surveillance.
Yes, this is why, this is interesting. This is why in the Talmud, in the Babylonian Talmud, they say Kara HaGever, the man was calling, and Gever is Tarnegol, and Gever is a rooster. But now we saw how the Tarnegol, the rooster, holds regel, the relation of leg with men in Arabic, and so. So in the writings of the Talmud, whenever they say Tarnegol, rooster, they mean a man who's calling. The man inside of us who is calling. In each and every one of us, there is a calling rooster, a calling man. And please pay attention to the description of the Zohar. A flame is being awakened, a flame, shalhevet, let's write it, shalhevet, which composed of hevel and shet. This is some kind of fire, and comes under the wings of the rooster. Wings is always the vav, because the wings is like the arms of the rooster. Our wings, and the wings of the vav, the letter vav, the spirit, under the wing, under the vav. Please pay attention to all of those images, because this is happening inside of us. And when the flame comes awaken and comes under the wings of the rooster at midnight, when it's the time for the darkness to break into two parts, because we arrived at the bottom of darkness. There is a promise in the book of Exodus when the Holy Blessed prepares Moses to prepare the Egyptian for the 10th plague, which is the hardest of all, the plague of the firstborn. Holy Blessed, kachatzot halayla, kachatzot. Please pay attention. This is an article of the book of Zohar about this phrase. He prepares Moses and says, kachatzot, chatzot halayla. It's not bachatzot specifically in midnight, but kachatzot, keter. Kachatzot halayla. Ani yotze. I am going out. Betoch Mitzrayim, within Egypt. Kachatzot. Not bachatzot, in midnight. But kachatzot, as midnight, where kaf is kaf adimion, like similar as, it is half and half. I go out in Egypt, meaning comes the 10th plague. Because this is, I think, the only plague. Please pay attention. Plague and palgut halayla. Plague, and palgut, split of the night, or division of the night. This is the only plague that God speaks to Moses and tell him the accurate time, or not the accurate, but the atmosphere of the time that it will happen. כחצות הלילה אני יוצא, I go out בתוך מצרים. And this is it. Why do you think the 10th plague was around midnight? According to what we have learned, what do you think?
Sorry, Eti, could you repeat the question, please?
Why the 10th plague, according to what we have learned so far? Why is the 10th plague happened around midnight? Can you explain it? What is the connection between midnight and the 10th plague? What happens in the 10th plague in Egypt? What is the 10th plague? Yes, killing the firstborn of Egypt. This is not biological. What is to kill the firstborn of Egypt? What is Egypt? What is the concept of Egypt?
The material room.
Yes. Yes. Egypt.
Time and space.
Time and space. Yes. Egypt, time and space. Material, the value of Egypt is 380. Double than the value of Canaan, 190. This is duality. So, split, conflicts, and so. So what is the meaning of the 10th plague? To kill the firstborn of what? The conflict. Because Mitzrayim is a conflict. It's a narrow, all the time there are conflicts and contradictions. This is the meaning of killing the firstborn of Egypt. The sense of duality. That there are like two gods or two realms or two kings. Duality. So to kill the firstborn of Egypt means to kill the sense of duality. Because with the firstborn of Israel there is no problem. Because the firstborn of Israel has a head. Lirosh, once he has a head, this is one. Head we have only one. There's no problem with it. Bni Bechorei Israel. This is why the speech of Moses to Pharaoh, Bni Bechorei Israel, my firstborn Israel. Israel wants one thing, not duality. This is why my firstborn Israel wants to go out from duality. This is why we have the 10th plague, because Pharaoh refuses. So what does it mean? The 10th plague in us, because it's not external movie. What does it mean to kill the firstborn of Egypt in us? And this is the 10th plague. To stop giving energy to the world of duality within. This is to killing the firstborn of Egypt. And then Israel can go out, because if you kill the duality, there's only one left. And this is happening in midnight. Because the value K is 20 is a keter, but it's also the 20 is also double 2. Again, כחצות הלילה אני יוצא, and I cut it. I cut the duality, there's only one. Because the voice is one.
Eti,
Yes.
I know we are out of time, but it makes me think about the first part of Zohar verses that speaks about the Dodi, the beloved one, being white and red.
Yes.
So it seems like a duality, but I wonder that is like both sides of the tree of
Mm-hmm.
life,
Mm-hmm.
but just for mention and
Mm-hmm.
for us to think about maybe.
דודי צח ואדום, this is very good. דודי צח ואדום, though he is pure, is white and red, those are parts are uniting. Meaning they don't have conflict, they just unite in the middle. Not like in Egypt when two poles are fighting each other. In Egypt, the sense of Egypt in us is a lack of a middle line. Bala Sulam says something interesting about this. One moment, just explain us the theme. He explained it very beautifully. He says, in the tree of life, there are 3 columns. Left, right, I hope that my pen is writing. Yes, I hope, but not really. I will only speak because I don't see that there's a connection. Let's see. There is left, right, and middle. And Bala Sulam says, what is, so to speak, Egypt, is when the left goes more for the left and the right goes more for the right. This is a split. But what is the virtue of the middle line? The middle line connects those two, meaning the right side is turning his face. I will say, like, it's not a good description of a profile of a man, but what is the quality of the middle line is that the right side is turning its face to the middle. 1 second, I'll try to, like this way. And the left side, instead of turning out more left, turn his face to the middle, and the middle line is concluding both of those elements together. Egypt is the split. Left goes more to the left, right goes more to the right, and then we have a gap that we cannot bridge. This is Egypt. It's a tearing sense in a person. But once we manage to bring the right to look, that his perspective will be looking to the middle and the left, again, to the middle they can meet, and the middle line holds both of them together. Then we have love and unity. Because if the right will look outside and also the left will look outside, there will be a schisma, a split. This is why our article starts, or the name of the article, Chatzot HaLayla, midnight. Not everyone goes to another direction and there's darkness, but we bring those edges into the middle, and life starts in the middle, because the tree of life is in the midst of the garden.
That was beautiful. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome. Questions or thoughts?
It's amazing, Yeti. Thank you to share with us. And I just remember when you draw this left line and the right line in the middle. I just remember the back-to-back relation and the face-to-face relation.
Yes, yes, this is it. This is it. This is it. Yes. Thank you so much. Venus, I wrote an article, The Creation Against God. Yes, the creation is the world of Bria, Yetzira, Asiya, against Olam Atzilut, against the secret. Very good, Venus, very good. Questions? If there aren't any questions, I would like to thank all of you for being present with us today. I'd like to wish you a beautiful day, wonderful week, and we may meet here tomorrow, continue reading the book of Zohar.
Would be great. Thank you very much, Yeti. It was amazing session. Thank you very much. And shalom, our friends on Discord and YouTube. Shalom, shalom, and see you tomorrow.
Shalom,
Yes, it
shalom.
was. Shalom, shalom.
Shalom,
Thank
shalom.
you.